everybody, and welcome to the channel. We got some 1978 Atlanta Braves baseball. We got the Philadelphia Phillies traveling to Atlanta to take on the Braves. And leading off for the visiting Phillies, playing right field, McBride. Batting second, playing shortstop, Boa. Batting third, playing third base, Smith. Batting fourth, playing left field, Lazinski. Batting fifth, playing first base, Hebner. Batting sixth, playing center field, Maddox. Batting seventh and doing the catching is Boone. Batting eighth, playing second base is Johnson. And batting ninth and doing the pitching is LERCH. And for the hometown Atlanta Braves, we got leading off playing second base Jerry Royster. Batting second, playing center field Bunnell. Batting third, playing right field is Matthews. Batting fourth, playing left field is Burris. Batting fifth, playing first base is Murphy. Batting sixth, doing the catching is Pocoropa. Batting seventh and playing shortstop is Rocket. Batting eighth, playing third base is Cheney. And on the mound, batting ninth is Nuxie himself, Phil NIEKRO. Let's get down here to Atlanta and get this game going. And leading off for the visiting Phillies is McBride, batting .288. He's got 3 homers and 17 RBIs going up against Phil NIEKRO, his 12th start of the year. He's 6-3 with a 3.25 ERA. And here's the pitch to McBride. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Nuxie strikes him out for out number 1. 1 up and 1 down here in the top of the first. Brings up Larry Boa now. Boa batting .274 with a homer and 16 RBI. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Cheney. He fires over to Murph for out number 2. And here's Michael Jack Smith batting .208 on the year. 4 homers and 23 RBI. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Bunnell in center. Phillies go down 1-2-3. Phillies nothing. The Braves coming up bat with Royster, Bunnell, and Matthews. See the Phillies' upcoming schedule. They got 2 more games here in Atlanta. Then they go home and take on the Pirates. Jerry Royster batting .304. No homers and 15 RBIs. Randy LERCH is on the mound. This is his 9th start of the season. He's 6-2 with a 3.08 ERA. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Maddox in center field for out number 1. And Barry Bunnell comes up to the plate, batting .253 with no homers and 8 RBIs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. LERCH strikes him out for out number 2. And here comes the Sarge, Gary Matthews, batting .233 with 2 homers and 6 RBIs. And that's going to be against the lefty. That's going to be a base hit, infield hit for Sarge with 1 out here, 2 outs here in the first. Jeff Burris grabs a bat now with a runner down at first. And Burris is batting .297. He's got 5 homers and 23 RBIs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. LERCH strikes him out, and that ends the first inning. No scores. We go to the top of the second. Lazinski, Hebner, and Maddox do up here for the Phillies. See the team comparisons. Philadelphia's 22-15. Scored 166 runs on 30 homers, 30 stolen bases, 18 caught stealing. The Braves are 14-25, 153 runs. They've hit 40 homers, stolen 12 bases, and been caught 6 times. Lazinski, the Bull, is batting .204. He's got 6 homers and 20 RBIs on the year. And that's going to be a That's going to be a swing and a miss. NIEKRO strikes out the Bull for out number 1. Phil's second strikeout of the game. And Hebner's up batting a .333, 3 homers, and 18 RBIs. That's going to be a fly ball out to Burris in the left. 2 down. And Gary Maddox is up. And Maddox is batting .230 with 4 homers and 22 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Murph. He takes it himself. And that's another 1, 2, 3 inning to the bottom of the second we go. And speaking of Murphy, he's going to lead off, followed by Pocoroba and the Rocket. And Dale's batting .209 with 9 homers and 15 RBIs. And he gets a hold of this one, folks. Murph's going to start this second inning off with a hit. And that ball is high. That ball is far. Dale Murphy has just hit his 10th home run of the year, folks. Out the dead center field, no doubt about her. Kiss her goodbye, and the Braves lead 1-0. And now we got Biff Pocoroba up, and Biff's batting .281, 4 homers and 13 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down the Boa at short. He fires over to first for out number 1. And here comes the Rocket now. And Pat's batting a .165, no homers and 8 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball to Smith. He's up with it. He fires over to Hebner for out number 2. And Cheney comes to the plate now. And Cheney is batting .300 on the year. He's got 1 homer and 4 RBIs. And that's going to be a base hit in the right field. And Cheney's aboard here with 2 outs. And that gets Nuxie up. And NIEKRO batting a .120. If he can do some damage here with 2 outs and help his own cause. Here's the pitch to Nuxie. He's got no homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Phil goes down 1 strikes. The Braves get 1 on the Murphy homer. Strand 1. We go to the top of the 3rd. It's 1-0 Atlanta. You've got the bottom part of the order due up here for the Phillies. Boone, Johnson, and LERCH. And Boone's batting .210 on the year, 2 homers and 14 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down to the Rocket. He's up and fires over to first for out number 1. And Davy Johnson's up now. And Johnson's batting .429 on the year. He's got a homer and 6 RBIs. And that's going to be a base on balls. And that's the first walk of the game by NIEKRO. And LERCH is going to try to bunt Johnson down in the second. And that's going to be missed both times trying to bunt. Here's the 0-2 punch. The bunt sign's still on. And that's going to be a bunt down the first base line. Murphy's got it. He'll toss it over to Royster covering. Now it'll be out number 2, but the runner does get in the scoring position for McBride. So the time runs down at second and 2 outs. McBride struck out his first time up against Phil. And that's going to be a ground ball down to first. Murphy's up with it. He tosses it over to Phil covering, and that'll end the inning. The Phillies strand 1. Go to the bottom of the 3rd, the top of the order due up here for the Braves. You got Royster, Bunnell, and Matthews. And Jerry flew out the center his first time up. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Royster goes down on strikes. And that'll bring up Bunnell now with nobody on and 1 out. And Barry struck out his first time. Not this time, folks. Against the lefty. 7. And that's going to be a base hit in the left field. And Barry's aboard here with a 1-out single. And here comes Matthews up now. And Matthews, he singled his first time up. Let's see here. 26, 27. Matthews up. Getting the scoring position. Yeah, he's going to take off. Barry's going to take off. 53 or lower. He's in there. Wait a second. Not 53. It would be a 51. And they throw him out. So Barry's thrown out trying to steal. Now there's 2 outs. And Matthews still at the plate. And here's the pitch to Matthews. And that's going to be a ground ball down the boa. And that'll end the inning. The Braves get a hit. Gets the race on the caught stealing. And we get to the top of the 4th. It's still a 1-0 Braves lead. You got Boa due up here, followed by Smith and Lazinski. And Larry grounded out the 3rd his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Barry in center for out number 1. And Smith's up now. And he flew out to center his first time up. And that's going to be against the righty, a 14 on a 9. And that's going to be an infield hit for Mike. So he's aboard here with 1 out. And the Bulls up now. And the Braves are looking for a double play ball here. And Lazinski struck out his first time up. And that's going to be another strikeout. Phillies struck him out twice so far. That brings up Richie Hebner now with 2 outs and Michael Jack Smith still down at first. Hebner flew out the left his first time up. And that's going to be back-to-back strikeouts. NIEKRO's got that knuckleball working here in the 4th after the single. That's his 4th strikeout of the game. We go to the bottom of the 4th. And we got Burris, Murphy, and Pocoroba due up. And Burris, he struck out his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out the right field. McBride makes the catch for out number 1. And here comes Murph. He hit a solo homer, put the only run on the board so far back there in the 2nd. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes Murph out this time. Now there's 2 quick outs here, and it's up to Pocoroba to do something. He grounded out the short back in the 2nd, but not this time. Biff gets a hold of this one, folks. And that ball is high. That ball is far. Biff Pocoroba with a homer here, folks. And just like that, it's a 2-0 ball game. 2 homers in this game. And 2-0 Atlanta. And that brings up the Rocket. Grounded out the 3rd his first time up. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Lurch comes back from the from the homer and strikes out his 6th batter of the game. But the Braves now lead 2-0 as we go to the top of the 5th. Maddox, Boone, and Johnson due up here. And Maddox grounded out the Murphy first time up. And that's going to be a base hit past Murphy in the right field. So they got the leadoff batter aboard here. And Boone's up. And you got the catcher up, always looking for that ground ball double play for runners on first with the catcher. Boone's 0 for 1. He did ground out the shortest first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Barry in center for out number 1. And Davy Johnson's up now. And Davy, he walked his first time up back in the 3rd. And that's going to be a fly ball out the left field. Burris has got that for out number 2. And Lurch is up. He had a sacrifice bunt his first time up. Randy's batting .238, so and he has 1 RBI on the year. So you can't take him for granted here. And they do, and that's going to be a double in the right field. Lurch blasts one in the right field down the first baseline. Don't need no stinking DH on this channel, that's for sure. And with Maddox's speed, he should score easy. Matthews does not have a good arm at all. So that'll be an RBI double for Lurch. And just like that, he cuts the lead in half. It's 2-1. Now you got McBride up with a runner down the second to tie this ball game up. The go-ahead run at the plate. And McBride's 0 for 2, struck out and grounded out. And that'll be a swing and a miss. NIEKRO gets him. But with the help of Randy LERCH, the Phillies put a run on the board, make this a 2-1 ball game. So we go to the bottom of the fifth with the bottom of the order. Cheney and NIEKRO. And back to Royster. And Cheney singled his first time up. And that's going to be against the lefty. That'll be another base hit for Cheney. He's aboard here with the leadoff single. And Phil's going to try to bunt him down in the scoring position. See if Phil can get the job done. He struck out his first time up. And that's going to be a nice bunt down back to the mound. Only place for LERCH is over to first. And you got Johnson covering. The runner does get in the scoring position now with one out. And Jerry Royster comes to the plate. Royster's got a 10-game hitting streak on the line. He has flown out the center and struck out. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Lazinski and left for out number 2. So it's going to be up to Barry Bonnell. And Barry is 1 for 2. He singled back in the third, got caught stealing. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Larry. He fires over to first. The Braves strand Royster at second. Cheney at second, rather. We go to the top of the sixth. We got Boa, Smith, and Lazinski due up here. See the Braves' upcoming schedule. They got 2 more games here in Atlanta against the Phillies. And then the Reds from Cincinnati, Ohio come to town. Boa's 0 for 2. He's flown out and grounded out. And not this time. That's a base hit in the right field. Matthews can't get to it. And that'll be a leadoff single. And now you got Smith up. So the time run it out at first. Go ahead, run at the plate. Smith's 1 for 2. Single back in the fourth. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. NIEKRO with his 6th strikeout of the game. You get the bull to ground down into a double play here. He has struck out twice. Can he even get the hat trick? And that is going to be a ground ball down the short. And the only play is going to be over to first. Rocket fires over to Murphy. And that'll be out number 2, but the runner's in scoring position now for Richie Hebner. And Hebner's 0 for 2. He has flown out and struck out. And that's going to be a pop up behind home plate. Pokeroba takes the mask off, makes the catch. And the Phillies strand 1. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Braves hanging on to a 2-1 lead here. You got the big boys due up, Matthews, Burris, and Murphy. Matthews is 1 for 2, single back in the first. And that's going to be a base on balls. Sarge walks on down the first. That brings up Jeff Burris now. And Burris is 0 for 2. He struck out and flown out. And that's going to be hit into the left field, I believe. Right field. 52 and a 2. Probably fielding column 2. Nope, that's going to be fielding column 3. So runner on first. And McBride doesn't play that very well. That's going to be a first on air, runner to third. So an E9, runner on first is going to get down to third. So we got first and third and nobody out for Murph. Murph give him some insurance runs here. Murph is homered in this game. I'm back in the second and struck out in the fourth. Here's the pitch to Dale. And that's going to be a round ball down the first. And a 62. That'll be a And that'll be a ground ball down to Hebner. He fires down to Boa. get the runner out at second. The runner on third will score. And Murph's now down at first with 1 out. Biff Pokeroba's up. But it's now a 3-1 ball game. So Murph gets the job done, folks. And now you got Pokeroba up. He homered his last time up back in the 4th. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. And they're going to get the runner out. They're going to get the runner out at first, the batter out at first on the 4-3 put out. That puts Murphy in the scoring position. And now you got Pat Rocket up. Rocket's 0 for 2. He's grounded out and struck out. And that's going to be against the lefty at 10. Runner down at second. 9. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. Bo is up with it. And he's going to fire over to first to end the inning. But the Braves score 1. Increase the lead to 3-1 as we go to the top of the 7th. You got Maddox, Boone, and Johnson due up. And Maddox is 1 for 2, grounded out and singled back in the 5th. Excuse me, and that's going to be a ground ball down to Murphy. He picks it up, takes it, and touches the bag. And you can see that the Phillies are batting .245 on the year with a .334 on base, slugging .372 with a .705 OPS. The Braves are batting .256. .323 on base percentage, slugging .372 also, and an OPS of .695. Now you got Boone up. He is flown out and grounded out. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Matthews in right field for out number 2. That brings Davey Johnson to the plate here. And Davey's 0 for 1. He walked back in the 3rd. That's going to be a ground ball down to Jerry at second, over to Murph. And that'll end the top half of the 7th. We go to the 7th inning stretch. It's 3-1 Atlanta. We got Cheney, NIEKRO, back to Royster. LERCH is due to lead off the top of the 8th and trying to get him through this 7th inning. Cheney is 2 for 2 against him today, 2 singles. And that's going to be the first time they got Cheney out. That's hit out to McBride for out number 1. And now Phil's up. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a sacrifice bunt. And that's going to be a ground ball down the Smith. 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 7th. See if Jerry Royster can get a base hit here and extend his hitting streak. Royster's 0 for 3. He's flown out to center and right and struck out. And that is going to be a base hit. And nice job. Make sure here. When is it? 4. Yep, that's going to be a base hit in the center field. Jerry Royster keeps the hitting streak alive. He's down at first now. And let's see, was he going to try to steal? I think Royster's going to try to steal big at 23. Trying to get in the scoring position with 2 outs here. 23. Is that right? Yep. 23 will be a 45 or lower. And they throw him out. So Boone's throwing them out left and right here, folks. That ends the 7th inning. We go to the top of the 8th. It's still a 3-1 ball game. We'll have a pitch hitter here for LERCH and then back to the top of the order. He's going to come out here and pitch hit against NIEKRO. Most of the lefties are already in the game. So let's see here. Guess it's going to be Jay Johnstone's going to come off the bench. This is Jay's batting a .148 on the year, no homers and 1 RBI. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Murph. We're out number 1 here in the 8th. And McBride comes to the plate now. And McBride's 0 for 3, struck out twice and grounded out. Can NIEKRO get his hat trick here? And a 23. Nope, that's another ground ball down to Murph. Murph's busy this inning. Let's see what Larry Boa does here. And Larry is 1 for 3. He's singled back in the 6th. And he gets a hold of this one. Larry showing some life here in the 8th inning, and that's a double in the right field. That brings the tying run to the plate. And Michael Smith, runner down in 2nd in scoring position. See if NIEKRO can get out of this 2-out here. And Smith is singled back in the 4th. And that's going to be a ground ball down the 1st. Let's see. 36 and a 2, probably feeling count 3. Yep. That's going to be a ground ball down the 1st. Murph's up with it. Tosses that over to NIEKRO, and that ends the top of the 8th. The bottom part of the inning we go. Let's see who's going to come out here and pitch. You've got the righties coming up here. So it's going to be the Tugger. Tug McGraw's coming out of the bullpen. They got one hell of a bullpen, the Phillies do. That's for sure. Not a bad arm out there. As you can see, the Phillies have scored 166 runs on 30 homers, 30 stolen bases, and 18 caught stealings. Braves 153 runs, 40 homers, 12 stolen bases, and been caught 6 times. As Tug McGraw comes out of the bullpen. He'll be facing Bunnell, Matthews, and Burris here. And this is Tug's 5th appearance. No record and no ERA. And that's going to be a fly ball out to right field for out number 1. Here comes Sarge up now. Matthews 1 for 2. He is singled and walked. And that's going to be driven into the gap off the wall. Kerry Matthews with a 1-out double here against Tug. And Jeff Burris comes to the plate now with an insurance run out there at 2nd. Burris is 0 for 3. He is struck out, flown out, and reached on an error. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Tug strikes him out for out number 2. And here comes Murph. Murph is 1 for 3. He's got a solo homer and drove in a run back in the 6th on a ground out. And the Murph against Tug to be 11. And that's going to be a base hit in the center field. And with Matthew's speed, I believe Murph's going to drive in a run here. That'll be a 360. Maddox with a 32. Yep, and he'll score with no throw. Dale Murphy with another RBI today. And it's now a 4-1 ball game. Big RBI there. Tug can't keep it a 2-run game. Now you got Murph down at 1st. And Pokaroba, who's also homered back in the 4th, is up now. And that's going to be a deep fly ball to right field. But McBride makes the catch near the track for out number 3. But the Braves get an insurance run on the Murphy single. We go to the top of the 9th. It's a 4-1 game. You got the big boys due up here. Lazinski, Hebner, and Maddox. 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up here against NIEKRO. And the Bull is 0 for 3. He struck out twice and grounded out. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Royster. He fires over to Murph for out number 1. And Richie Hebner's up now. Hebner's 0 for 3, flown out, popped up, and struck out. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Nuxie strikes him out. That's his 7th strikeout of the game so far. And now you got Maddox up. Gary's 1 for 3. He's came around the score back in the 5th, the only run for the Phillies. And that's going to be against the righty. A 17 on an 8. And that'll do it, folks. That is a fly ball out to Burrison, left field. Waits for it to come down, makes the catch, and the Braves break their losing streak and beat the Phillies 4-1. Take a look here at the box score. And the Phillies 1 run on 5 hits and an error. The Braves 4 runs, 9 hits, and no errors. Larry Bell is the only Philly that had 2 hits in the game. He was 2 for 4. The Phillies were 0 for 3 and with runners in scoring position. Only left 5 men on base. Matthews and Murphy both had 2 hits in the game. And you had Pocoroba and Murphy with homers. The Braves were only 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. And they only left 5 men on base. And Randy Lurch drops to 6 and 3, 7 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, walked 1, struck out 6, but gave up the 2 home runs. McGraw comes in, 1 inning, 2 hits, 1 run, and struck out 1. NIEKRO goes the distance, picks up his 7th win. He's 7 and 3, 5 hits, 1 run, walked 1, and struck out 7. Let's finish the rest of these National League games here on the 26th. You got the Mets taking on the Astros in Houston. And the Astros win a close one. A walk-off, matter of fact. Let's see how many innings this went. Joe NIEKRO gets the win. They won 12 innings. Houston got out to a 3-0 lead, blew it, and then wins it in the 12th. And you had the Astros with 4 runs on 11 hits and 1 error, and the Mets 3 runs, 11 hits and 1 error. Then you got the Expos traveling to Pittsburgh. Nice pitching duel. You got Steve Rogers and the Candyman Candelaria on the mound. Let's see what kind of game this is. Watch it be a blowout. No, Expos win a 1-0 game. 1 run, 5 hits, 2 errors, and the Pirates no runs, 5 hits, no errors. Tom Seaver on the mound for the Big Red Machine against the Padres. And Shirley, don't call me Shirley, is on the mound for the Padres. And another close game. The Padres win 2-1. See what this star is for. Another walk-off. Let's see how many innings this went. Close games. This went 10 innings. Yeah, I had the Reds, 1 run, 8 hits, and no errors. The Padres, 2 runs, 11 hits, and 1 error. Now we go out to San Francisco. See the Dodgers take on the Giants. Battle of the lefties. And the Dodgers win 5 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. The Giants 2 runs, 10 hits, and no errors. And the last game here on the 26th is the Cubbies traveling to their arch rival, the Cardinals. Another battle of the lefties. And the Cardinals win 6 runs, 13 hits, and no errors. And the Cubbies 4 runs, 6 hits and no errors. Let's take a look at the standings after May 26th and the leaderboard in the National League. So you got the Expos a game and a half up on the Pennsylvania teams, Philadelphia and the Pirates. Cubbies are 3.5 games back. The Mets are 9.5, and the Cardinals are 12.5 games back. And out west, the Dodgers got a 5.5 game lead over the Giants, 8 games over the Astros. San Diego is 9 games back. The Reds 11, and the Braves a distant 13 games back. And Enos Cabell's leading the National League with a .358 average. George Foster with his 12 homers and 43 RBIs leading the National League. And Jim Barr with his 1.64 ERA. And Steve Rogers now with 8 wins on the year. And you got 3 pitchers with 7 saves now. Fingers, Kyson, and Suter. And Reggie Smith has taken over the MVP lead over George Foster. And Rogers is leading in the Cy Young voting. I want to thank everybody for stopping in today, checking out the game. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for reminders, and leave a comment. Let's see what the next pitching matchup in this series is on the 27th. Lombard going up against Reuven. That should be a good pitching matchup. Until next time, you all have a great day and take care.